Hi folks, we're at the storage unit, as you can see, and this time we're looking at a box that's marked SUP to W. So we'll see how the accuracy of the marking goes, and see what kind of goodies are found in here. So start off with Super Dinosaur, which is interesting because Robert Kirkman, the creator of Walking Dead, was involved with this Super Dinosaur.
Oh.
Clearly did not gain the popularity level of Walking Dead, but
On the SUP
yeah, there's number 2
box anyway.
Indeed. Super Dinosaur 3, let's see, 4, 5, so I do have a good run of these. So 1 to 5, and then I skip 6, but I have 7, 8, 10.
Sounds like kids would like it,
11,
but
yeah.
I have a suspicion it's not appropriate for kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about it, to be honest, but if you're interested, I kid or not, I have it, so by all means reach out to me if you are interested. Now, the big enchilada, the head honcho, the big cheese, Superman.
The Queen Mother.
Yeah, this guy. This is from the early to mid 70s, as you can see by the 20-cent price tag. But it's Superman 255, which is fairly early issue. Nothing crazy, but so neat cover. The son of Superman. That's Superman 267, which is not in great shape. But still, if you're interested in old Supermans, I got them, and you get a good price because of that. And this is Superman 295.
Because of what?
Because of the bad shape, the bad condition it's in. So this is Superman 295, which is probably around 1975 or so. So this is Superman 297. I put that on there because the for whatever reason it's cut off on the side of the cover. But that issue's in pretty good shape. So these are okay. This one's Superman 298. So leading up to the big one, and of course we jump right to 311. Now this was a time in Superman that was really excellent because Jerry Conway was doing some writing at the time, and then Marty Pasco took over, and he did some really good writing on Superman as well. So it was kind of rare for Superman to be as good as Batman at this time, but this was a very brief time where Superman was definitely in that category, in my opinion. So let's see, this one is Marty Pasco is the writer for this one. So Kurt Swan's the artist, but Jerry Conway was the writer for Superman from about 300 to maybe 310. So there were some really good issues at this time. 318 is another good one. And here's a cool thing, a Whitman variant of Superman. So those are a little bit more rare and a little bit more valuable if you have Whitman variants of things. And of course it has no number on it because...
What's Whitman?
Whitman was, I believe they were a candy manufacturer or something, and they would often make deals with DC to distribute comics and stuff.
Ah, how fancy.
Okay, so here it is. That's another Whitman variant, but it's Superman 321. This one has the number on it, so his super hearing is going berserk here. So a great cover by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. And this is a cool Superman versus the Parasite on the cover. That's a really cool cover. Superman 322. And this is Superman 323 versus the Atomic Skull.
The Atomic Skull, huh?
Superman 325. Looks like Commissioner Gordon is his enemy there, but that's not Commissioner Gordon. So here's another Whitman variant, Superman versus Cobra, with his foster parents alive, according to the story, but I'm sure there's more to it. So here's Superman 333 with...
Do his foster parents die early in the story?
According to... And at that time, I don't know what the current state of it is now, but...
They've been brought back to life or something?
Yeah, Superman 333 with Bizarro, and this is Superman 336 with Rose and Thorn. Here's Superman 341. More Whitman variants. I don't know what number this is. I'll have to go and put those numbers on there so that I can tell. Oh, there it is. Superman 350. Okay. So Superman 377 with a really cool Gil Kane cover. And Superman 390, again with a really cool Gil Kane cover. So Superman 392, Lana Lang, more Gil Kane goodness. The day they nuked Superman, March 1984, of course. Whatever. Told you people were afraid of the nuclear Armageddon at the time. Superman 394, the Viking from Valhalla, not to be confused with Thor. Superman 395, Gauntlet of Heroes, Superman 399, right at the end of the original Superman 399, and voila, Superman 400.
An anniversary edition too.
Yeah. And a lot of cool names that contributed a pinup or something for this issue, or a bit of the story arc. Very cool.
Including Steve Ditko.
Yeah. Superman 401, Luthor. And
wow, Lex Luthor returning again.
Yeah, 406. The fight for the right to be Superman. So this is leading up, 410. Superman was renumbered and relaunched in I think it was 1986.
The comic book being renumbered.
Yeah, relaunched in 1986. So
That's
412.
just unfathomable.
And 423 was the last issue. This is a Klaus Janson cover. 414. And let's see, this one is 419. The Man Who Murdered Evil. Yeah, if only. Superman 420. So 423 was the issue where they called it quits on the original Superman and then turned the numbering over to Adventures of Superman, and then they relaunched Superman with number 1. But so there's Superman Special, more Gil Kane.
Superman Special.
Yeah. Superman Titania Titan. That looks like could be Gorilla Grodd, but maybe it's just a gorilla.
Do you think Superman Special will be like a giant thing of lime water ice so that it looks like kryptonite?
So here's the new Superman series by Roger Stern and Mike Mignola. A cool cover of somebody in hell fighting with Superman over Jimmy Olsen. Here's Superman 29, Dan Jurgens. And here's Superman Doomsday. This is when Doomsday came to Earth and eventually wound up killing Superman, which that wasn't his day. That's a third print. You can tell by the Roman numeral 3 there. And here's Superman 75. With some of these were packaged with a black armband and stuff like that. So DC had a whole huge promotion related to this Superman. This is a 4th print with the IV on there. Anyway, so then after Superman's death, you had the reign of the Superman. They introduced 4 new characters who could be Superman, and just to see how that would go. And after this, they just kind of abandoned the plot. This is Superman 141. So the way along, they pretty much just restored the original Superman and moved on. And then they had the Azzarello. They had a 12-issue thing, an interlude in Superman where they did 12 issues. Jim Lee is the artist. So he's well known as he's an editor-in-chief, I think, of DC, or a co-editor-in-chief now. But he had also gone off to form Wildstorm with Image guys. So he's pretty well known as an artist, but he's also, a top-level editor. So he was involved with this interlude in Superman.
Yeah.
209. So I got a bunch of those. 206, 207, 208, 210, 211. So if you're interested, let me know. Superman 700, great landmark issue. And here is Superman Rebirth. I forget what year this was. Oh, 2016. So that's what year it was. So that's Superman Rebirth number 1. Or this might be Rebirth Superman. I forget exactly how they did it, but this is the actual number 1 of the series. And this is like the introductory issue for Rebirth. Confusing, but 2. So I have 1, 2, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 16 of the Rebirth stuff. So if you're interested, let me know. That's number 15, 38. And this is great. Superman All-Star Superman number 1, Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. It's free comic book day version, unfortunately, so probably not as good as having the actual copy. But this is Superman, the coming of the Superman by the great Neil Adams, who was a legend in 60s and 70s DC Comics as an artist, just a great creator. So he had a miniseries here, and you can see he's still got it. I mean, I think he's passed now, but this was 2020, I believe, when this came out. No, 2016. So yeah, he's still an amazing artist, even at what it was. He was an advanced age at that time. He was probably in his 70s or 80s by then, but fantastic. Superman Family 165, Superman Gen 13, a really funny and really well done miniseries. It was 3 issues, and Adam Hughes did the writing, and he was always known as a great artist and a great cover artist, but he is also a pretty good writer. So if you ever have a chance to get this, I would recommend it. It's very good and very well written.
He was this pretty good skater. Now he's this pretty good actor.
Here's Superman Man of Steel. This is also part of the Doomsday Saga. So that was an interesting one, number 18. So here's more Reign of Superman in Superman the Man of Steel as opposed to just regular old Superman. This is Superman, a do-it-yourself cover. I think it has like, yeah.
A do-it-yourself cover?
Yeah, it has like, things that you can put on there and make it look like however you want to. It's like a color forms. You older people will know what color forms are, but
I don't.
that's what that is. Sort of. I think that's what it was. Superman The Secret Years with great Frank Miller covers. That's number 2. That's number 3. That's
Were they
number
like
4.
big in the 80s or something?
Yeah, they were big in the 70s, I think. So, number 4. So I have all 4 issues of Superman Secret Years. So Superman Strength by Scott McCloud, who famously did Understanding Comics, which was a graphic novel that broke down how comics are made, down to
neat.
how panels are set up, how they do lettering, and how they add colors and all that kind of stuff. It was really a great
Wow,
primer
okay.
on how comic books were made. So Superman Unchained by Scott Snyder, and Jim Lee, who did Scott Snyder did some great work with Batman, and then there's the aforementioned Jim Lee, who is Marvel editor and or DC.
It's funny you said Jim Lee
editor-in-chief.
really fast, and I was like, is Jim Lee his name?
Yeah, and so he's also an artist, of course. So
Is it like Gimli from Lord of the Rings?
maybe Challenge of the Super Sons. This is Superwoman number 1 from Rebirth. So we have number 2, 3, and 4. So if you're interested in Superwoman, I have that. This is Team 7 from Image by Chuck Dixon and Aaron Weisenfeld, who's a great artist.
Image?
Weisenfeld, yeah. Image Comics. See, it's an eye.
Is that like a smaller company?
They are actually quite a large company.
But smaller than Marvel and DC.
Yeah, but they've grown in their time. That's New Teen Titans by George Perez art. Team Titans number 1.
Huh.
Tom Strong by the great Alan Moore, number 1. That's cool. Tom Strong number 1. Get it while it's hot, folks.
Get it while it's hot. Get it while it's buttered.
Tom Strong number 3 and
Yeah,
number
so-
7. Always worth getting Alan Moore stuff. Trust me. Top 10, another great Alan Moore series by America's Best Comics, which was an imprint of Wildstorm. Funny story about that. Alan Moore hated DC and vowed never to work for them again. And then he started doing this stuff for Jim Lee for Wildstorm. And then Wildstorm was bought out by DC. So that didn't work out so well, which is unfortunate because we lost great stuff. Torso. That might sound familiar. The Cleveland Torso Killer.
It's about that.
Yeah. Because the guy, Brian Michael Bendis, is actually from Cleveland, so he was probably familiar with that just by being a resident of the city.
Yeah, I have to imagine.
Trinity. Troll number 1. Truth, which was, this is the Marvel must-have, which was about, I forget his name, but they did experimenting on people before Steve Rogers to test the serum according to the story. So, and I think he actually appeared in the Captain America or the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series Union, but I can't remember the character's name. There's Violator number 2, which is by Alan Moore, a character from Spawn. Violator number 3. So there's The Vision, Chapter 1. That's a 1995 series, I believe. A Walk Through Hell by Garth Ennis. Warlock Special Edition, which reprints, I think, his original appearances in Strange Tales. So this is the Warlock series, The Infinity Effect. Warlock versus the Magus. Warlock Chronicles for a spectacular issue. Always good. More Warlock Chronicles here. It's Warlock and the Infinity Watch number 1. So I have number 2, 4. This is still more Warlock and the Infinity Watch. Here's Watchmen. Watchmen number 2, which isn't in great shape, but still pretty cool stuff. Way of X, an X-Men spinoff. We Are Robin, number 1. And this is Web of Spider-Man, the relaunched thing, and much more recent. I forget what year this is, but it's recent. Web of Venom, Funeral Pyre, and Web of Venom, Wraith. Web Spinners, Tales of Spider-Man, number 1. So that's it for that one. It's up to W. So if you see anything in there that catches your eye or you're very interested, then again, let me know in comments or eBay messaging. Thank you. Have a good day.